A rich man's world. I have turned the soul of this beautiful land, but that beauty. A rich man's world. I have turned the soul of this beautiful land, but a rich man's world. I have turned the soul of this beautiful land.
Welcome you guys to the 20th episode of the Level Up Lounge. As always, thank you guys so much for giving me a chance to speak into you and just spread the message of positivity and being able to get on this journey and keep the ball rolling. So today's episode is going to be all about fear. And I don't mean to create this episode to instill fear in you, but rather make fear your friend. There's a lot of ideas, a lot of beliefs around fear and where it comes from and the true impact it makes on the human. And what I've realized is that fear is always going to be present in your life, no matter how old you are, no matter how many battles that you've beaten yourself and how many walls you're breaking through, all these self-limiting beliefs you have about yourself, they will continue being in your life till the very end. Because as there's good in the world, there has to be a balancing side on it, and that includes fear. Now, fear can prevent you from doing so many things in your life where it could rob you from so many opportunities that are meant for you. If fear is running through your mind every single day, and this can present itself in so many ways, from personal experience, fear has been something that I had to not avoid instead of running away from it and staying busy to avoid this feeling. I learned to make it my friend. And instead of pushing it away in my life, I invited it in my life and used it as a compass of where I need to work on myself in order to become a better person, a better friend, a better family member, whatever that may be. And I highly encourage you guys to start seeing fear in that perspective, where fear is truly just showing you and spotting a light in yourself of what you need to be working on. Because fear, when fear strikes you, that means you're doing something uncomfortable, something that your body, your mind is not used to. And when we're not used to something, we tend to just come back into a familiar environment that we're used to and stay there. And that's what I mentioned earlier, where fear can strike you and prevent you from opportunities that are meant for you. Opportunities only happen in the unknown. When you're doing something different, then all these doors start opening because you're doing something different. You're no longer staying in the same spot. And fear will increase and will elevate in your life. The higher you go, the higher the heights you climb, the larger the view of below you might seem. And I thought fear, after completing so many challenges, so many obstacles in my personal life, I thought fear was going to get easier to accomplish, easier to put away. But in fact, the voices got louder. The voices are much clearer. The voices show me so many things about myself that I need to learn and work on. And I encourage you guys to reflect on yourself of where does fear present itself in your life, and ask yourself why. Why does this scare me so much? Why does putting myself out there scare me so much? Is it because I am insecure, or am I worried about what other people might say about me? Several reasons that can go behind that single thought. And I only can speak for myself. And that's why I encourage you guys to have a time, even if you pause this podcast, have a time where you just reflect on yourself. Why does fear present itself in your life? What has happened in the past that if you do it one more time, is it going to affect you? These are the tough questions you have to ask yourself whenever you're in this moment, in this and this ring one-on-one with this fear. And guys, if you guys want to defeat your own fears, this is something that nobody can help you out with. You have a person like me who's feeding you all this positive content, who's uplifting you and trying to get you back up. But at the end of the day, it's only going to be you versus your fear in a ring one-on-one. And at the end of the day, you have to defeat this feeling. You are the only one that can conquer this challenge within yourself, which can be a scary, scary thought. It's a damn scary thought when you have to face something alone. Nobody wants to be alone. Being alone it's not a good feeling. But when we are talking about going to the next level, up gaming your life, we have to face fear on our own. And this episode is going to be all about that, and trying to push away the idea of fear being negative, and we have to see it in a positive way. We have to make it our friend. We have to invite it in our life so we can get comfortable with this feeling. And let me tell you guys, if you guys are comfortable with fear, if you guys are willing to work with it and willing to push boundaries, then you are only going to get stronger. And your fear is going to get higher. Your fear is going to get louder as you increase, as you level up in your life. But new levels, new devils. But the person that's sustaining, the person that's going up against the fear on mountaintop, level 1,000, whatever that may be, that person is going to be able to handle a lot more stuff in the world versus the version of yourself that is not willing to take on this fear one-on-one, head on. I like to see this concept as fear and life as a dance, as a dancing partner where you are learning about the other partner. Because when two people are dancing, you are trying to figure out the other person. You're trying to understand what moves they like, what moves they don't like, what works, what doesn't work. And it's a lot similar with fear. When we're dancing with fear, we are scared to look awkward when we're out there dancing. We're scared that we might fall, or we might even, hurt ourselves with dancing with this person, with this feeling, which is totally valid. It's a totally valid reason, guys. People who say fear is not real, fear is only for the weak. But I'm here to tell you guys that we have to stop living in that hard mindset that fear does not exist. Let's accept that fear exists and look at it at face value. Start asking these questions. Start figuring out, why am I being fearful at this moment? And how I said, when you're dancing with a new partner, trying to figure out their moves and how to make it flow, that's the same approach I encourage you guys to take with fear. Figure out what you can do to dance better with fear, to approach it in a positive way, where if fear is shutting you down, if fear is pushing you another way, find a way to turn that and use that as fuel of, okay, this is what I need to work on. Fear is showing me this. Let me try to find out why I'm feeling this way, find that answer, and then work on it. So as you continue growing, you continue going on to the next level, you start getting better and start understanding more about your fears, but in all, you're understanding and getting a better idea of yourself, of what things you don't like, what things can help you jump into the next version of yourself. Fear shows you so many answers. From personal experience, it's helped me out so much of just facing my fears and standing on a different pedestal whenever I'm facing this feeling one-on-one. It will always be present in your life, but we do have a sense of control when dealing with fear. Fear is a negative feeling. So to counter that, indulge yourself in a positive environment. Don't surround yourself with friends that put you down, that make little subtle comments to strike at you and tell you that you're not good enough, or listening to content that shows you that success and this other life of abundance and happiness is just a fantasy. You have to protect your mind when fear is present. Because I always said in the beginning of the podcast, fear is always going to be in your life. We cannot avoid it. We will never outrun it. We have to be very, very cautious of what we are implementing in our minds every single day. The thing is, guys, our mind is always listening. Our mind is always trying to attach itself on something that has its attention on it. So if something fearful comes in your life and you just can't stop thinking about it, then naturally the mind is going to start feeding off of this attention, this thought, then relate it back into your heart, and you start feeling this fear inside of your body. I mean, you can feel that when something is fearful coming in your way, you will shrivel up, you will walk away, and you will stay quiet and not be you. But when something is exciting to you, something gets you happy, something gets some adrenaline running in you, you feel amazing. You feel that you can jump to new heights. You feel that I can take over the fucking world. And that's the trick, you guys. Our attention will attach to a thought, and that thought carries weight. That thought is a frequency. It can be positive or negative. The thought is heavy enough, then it will translate into your body, then will translate into your emotion, then it will translate into your whole experience of life because of one single thought, one single experience that happened to you in the past that is now hijacking your body and changing your reality because of this one single thought. Fear has that power. It definitely does. And that's why it's so important, you guys, to indulge yourself in a positive environment where fear is nowhere to be found. To start putting yourself in a positive environment is a tough challenge to do at first, but we are creatures of habit. The more you indulge yourself in a positive environment, whether it's a podcast, it's reading a book, surrounding yourself with good people, good friends, whatever that may be, there's so many different avenues of that. But as you keep on listening to the content, all your brain is going to think about is positive. That's a hack for you guys right there. We can trick our brains into feeling a certain way. Our sense of control is being able to consume what we want to consume. We can be put in an environment of happiness and bliss, and naturally that energy, that frequency would just start rubbing off of you, and you start becoming happy and blissful and at peace. But if you put yourself in an environment where all they talk about is gossip, and all they talk about is negativity, or that person is only successful because this and that, all these little remarks where they're just bringing people down, they're backstabbing, they're bad-mouthing other people, you are going to eventually think like them and start seeing the world through their views and their eyes, saying that no, like success is not possible, happiness is not possible, because that's what they're saying. And that's what I'm trying to prevent you guys from getting into. And you guys have to start being more conscious of what's in front of you and who's around you, and if everybody's perspective is what you want to see. The whole point of this podcast, you guys, is for you guys to find your own truth, to do your own research. And if that means you have to go off the radar, that means you have to cut some ties with some friends or even family members to protect your mind, then go ahead and do it. It's important we all find our own truth, because we all have our own truth in our own unique way. And the only way we can find that out is with ourselves. And with fear being a compass of what we need to work on, and shows us, literally points a flashlight to the spot you need to work on. See, but now we have a direction of, okay, I'm feeling fear. I'm feeling hesitant to do a certain thing. Why am I feeling this way? And once you get that answer, let's working towards this fear and defeating this feeling. And as I said before, fear is not going to go away. So instead of pushing it away, suppressing it, and allowing this thought to run in your head over and over and over again, and you're not going to go anywhere with that, guys. If you keep avoiding fear, if you keep avoiding things you need to do in life, then it's just going to keep presenting itself over and over and over in your life. And you're just going to be running on a hamster wheel, going in circles and circles and circles until you decide to finally face this fear one-on-one and defeat it. Dance with it. Learn about it. Make it your friend, you guys. Make it your friend and get excited when you have this feeling, because now this is an opportunity to get better. You see that perspective right there? Instead of letting fear come in and running the other way, fear comes in and you recognize it, you're aware of it, and you say, okay, what am I going to learn today? What am I going to learn about myself that I need to work on? It's all perspective, you guys. You have to shift the perspective of a learner and a growth-oriented mindset. So whatever is presented to you in your life, you're able to deal with it and attack it with love. And when you attack something with love, you can't get hurt. Because yeah, you'll fall. Yeah, you will maybe get some scars from some things that happened in the past. But you understand that it's coming from a place of love, and you start realizing that everything is for your benefit. And everything that's happening in your life that strikes fear in you is helping you become a better person. This is the perspective you need to have. This is the perspective you need to take approach on in every single situation you go in your life. Fear is a friend. Fear is not your enemy. We have to approach it with a sense of humility, meaning I'm okay being fearful of this object, of this person, of this situation. I'm okay to tell others and share with others my fear and what makes me afraid. When you're able to have the humility to tell people and share with others and ask for help, that this thing right here is bothering me, this thing right here it's not helping me grow, and it's making me feel a certain way inside of me. And you telling other people that is a sign of strength, you guys. As Bruce Lee once said, if you're stiff as a board, you will break. You have to be flowing like water, where you're able to shape in any form, any cup, any vase, anything you put, any environment you're put in. If you're able to shape yourself in that sense, meaning having humility, being able to be soft-hearted and be kind and be genuine, then you can't lose. You're not going to lose, because humility is a sign of wisdom. It's a sign of strength, and eventually leads up to the latter top of a sign of love, because you have the love for the game. You have a love for the growth. You start loving yourself more because you understand that you're not perfect. You understand that this is just a process of who I need to be, and to have the humility to show that to others, that I'm not perfect, that I make mistakes, that I'm fearful, and I am just trying my best. That is the strongest thing anybody can experience and can say to themselves as well. Fear is real. I even had a strike of fear making this certain episode for some reason. This whole day, it's been in my head, and I have put it aside, and here I am. I wasn't gonna do this episode. If I can be honest, I wasn't gonna do the episode. But I'm not gonna let fear decide that for me. I need to give this message, and I want you guys to start implementing this knowledge and seeing fear as a friend. Start dancing with it. Start figuring out, how am I going to defeat this person, or this opportunity, or this anything. Fear can be in any different form. It's up to you to decide whether you're going to win this battle or not. No one can help you, but you can surround yourself with a positive environment, get yourself on a good train of thought of positivity. So when that feeling comes back around, you approach it with love, approach it with a learner's mindset, and find out, what can I do to get better? What can I do to understand this feeling about myself? Take that perspective, take that approach, and I promise you, you guys will start seeing things differently in your life. With that being said, you guys, as always, thank you so much for tuning into my podcast. This is the 20th episode of the Level Up Lounge. Pretty crazy that we're in the 20th already, but 2025 is coming up. Can't wait for 2025. We're going to have guests on the podcast, and you're going to love them. I know it. And please like, rate, and share this podcast if I impacted you in any single way possible. This is just to push the algorithm and reach the right people. But as we end off every podcast episode, show love, spread love to the people around you, and just be a damn good person. We need more positivity in this world, and you are a vessel for that. That being said, I'll see you guys in the next episode. Love you guys, and God bless.
But